What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be back on the Civic, as you can tell from the title of this video. So I know that a lot of you that tune into these videos are not subscribed, so I'm just assuming that you're brand new to this channel. Over the last year, I guess you could say, I have turboed my Honda Civic. This is a D16 Y7 Civic. I put a Y8 intake manifold on there, and we slapped on an eBay turbo kit. Now, it's not just a flat out eBay turbo kit. I pieced everything together. I didn't just buy like a whole kit, you know, because I figured I could get a little bit better quality parts and leave out some of the unnecessary crap. So we got a max speeding rods, T3, T4 turbo, homemade air intake, homemade downpipe, homemade full exhaust. We got an eBay front mount intercooler, and that is the gist of it. So you guys that are not new are getting sick of me saying this, but this Civic is not tuned. We did this full turbo kit on an extreme budget without tuning it. Now, the way we are keeping it from exploding is we're running a Blocks Racing FMU. We have an adjustable fuel pressure regulator. We have a manual boost controller. Right now, I have Y8 injectors in there, and then we have a Suabru 255 fuel pump. So we're kind of nearing the end of this, but right now I'm trying to dial in fueling as best I can. So what was happening is with the Y7 injectors, the car was running fantastic, just like it had been tuned. Even in pools, it was running down into like the 11s to 10 AFR, and then at cruising or idle, it was 14.7. Looked amazing. Now, the only problem was once it was seeing boost and getting all that extra fuel, the ECU was seeing it through the map sensor, and it was cutting fuel. So it would run like crap. It would sputter, and the AFRs would be like 18. So can't have that, obviously. Now, one of you guys, might have been Milton, have been commenting on my videos saying to run the split second voltage clamp that you wire into your map sensor, and you can set your high and low limit for the voltage your map sensor, well, the voltage your ECU sees, basically telling it not to adjust past this certain amount, which would eliminate fuel cut, to my understanding. Sad news, that company is no longer. I sent him a bunch of emails, no response. I called him, he answered and said he's just leaving the website up to help people that already have the product. But I couldn't get one, so that is no longer an option. That would have been, I think, absolutely perfect for this build. May even have been the finishing touch to make this thing perfect. So, no longer an option. What we are doing now, I'm gonna leave the Y8, the Y8 injectors in there. So what it's doing is it's just running really rich, and I would say that it's still trying to fuel cut, but since those injectors are just so rich, it can't. So what I want to do in this video is try to make these Y8 injectors run as ideal as possible, and the way I'm going to do that is I am going to back off fuel pressure as much as I can to see if the AFRs come down and see if the car still continues to run good. So that's going to be the gist of this video, and once we do that, we're going to go take a cruise, do a couple pools, and I need to take some pictures of this thing for more thumbnails in the future and more posts. Also, side note, I do have a little bit of merch on my website, BrotherBoost.com. I don't know if you guys can see that, but if any of you want to check that out, want to help me with the channel, feel free to grab some of that. I've made it as cheap as possible with the way I'm doing it. That way, really I'm just trying to get the stuff out there, not really make any money on it. So anyway, I think that we are nearing the end of this current setup, this current build. The car seems to be running good. There's gonna be some sacrifices that you have to make when not tuning it. That's why you get scolded for doing stuff without tuning. So with that being said, I actually have already placed the order for the Speed Factory Viterra pistons and no notch rods. So we're gonna be sometime soon starting a full build on this. I'm still keeping budget in mind. I'm not gonna go all out yet. So for those of you that want to follow along with that, I think that'll be real good. And you can learn with me how to work on these engines. So anyway, I'll touch more on that at the end of the video, but let's get right into this. Let's bring the fuel pressure down and let's go take a drive. Let me check my battery real quick. I'm having some battery draining issues while it sits. Looks like the alternator's good, which would make sense. Anyway, let's take a look at what our current AFR is while we're just sitting here idling. Should be well out of the cold start sequence. So right now we're at 10.6, 10.7. Very, very lean for idle. So fuel pressure wise, I am, with the vacuum source plugged in, I am right at like 33 PSI. Let's go ahead and break our adjustable fuel pressure regulator loose. And for those of you that want to know, this is a Evil Energy fuel pressure regulator, and my code with them, I believe, is BB10. So I'm going to pull the vacuum source out. I'm going to plug it with my hand so it doesn't see a boost leak, vacuum leak. And now I'm just going to lower this thing down as much as I can. Well, it looks like it won't go under, 30. I don't know if that's normal. You guys let me know if that's odd, but yeah, I can't lower it down anymore. So with that being said, I'm probably not going to get this thing much leaner with these injectors, but let's go do some driving. I want to do more driving in this before we change the setup, just to be able to kind of really show you guys the abuse that it can handle without blowing up. Now, it's not ideal to run this rich, but it's a lot more ideal than running lean, so we should be all right there. But yeah, let me get you guys mounted up in the car. So, I did not tell you guys, I am running on 10 pounds of boost. So we have just a 5-pound wastegate spring in there, and we have a Amazon special manual boost controller in there, and we have a video, a couple videos back, of dialing that boost down to 10 PSI with that manual boost controller. That was a little sketchy because it was easy to overshoot, but we got it. Seems like I'm kind of I don't know, almost seems like it's misfiring, but which I have adjusted the plugs a while ago because they were it was misfiring due to blowing out the plugs, so I gapped them down tight, but seems like we're misfiring again for some reason. Yeah, it's almost like it's cutting fuel, but our AFRs look all right. You guys can obviously feel that. That's fairly new. It was not doing that before. So maybe my fuel pressure is too low right now. Definitely not running ideal right now. I'm going to turn fuel pressure back up. Boost, it just feels like fuel's cutting out of it. It definitely looks like the AFRs are leaner right now. Like right now it's actually running pretty good, right around like 14. So I think it's definitely leaner from turning that fuel pressure all the way down. However, I think that might be the reason it's cutting out. So let's get up here, turn it back up. Obviously it's going to go a little more rich, but with our current setup, that's how it's going to have to be. All right, guys, we got her a little rich, or turn the fuel pressure up. So let's see if it worked. It's still doing it a little bit. It seemed like it may be a little less, but I'm kind of thinking it could just be how rich the injectors are. It could be so rich that it's like fouling out the plugs. So I would say the Y7 injectors would fix the problem. However, it would cut fuel after driving for a bit. So so you know, it's catch-22. I guess this is why people tune these things. Makes a lot of sense, don't it? So let's go back. Let's go back and throw the Y7 injectors in it. Take another quick ride and see if that fixes the issues. But it will still fuel cut. Now, you can get rid of the fuel cut by pulling over and turning the car off and turning it back on, because then I've been told it'll like reset the ECU and you're good to go until it cuts again. But definitely not ideal. That could honestly just be the ECU fighting those injectors. like trying to fuel cut, but those things are spraying out so much. Yeah, so based on my findings here, I'm going to tell you like 3 different options that I think we could do at this point to make this the ideal non-tuned turbo setup. Let's go ahead and throw the Y7 injectors back in here just to see if it gets rid of that stuttering problem. My guess is the car is trying to fuel cut, but those injectors are so rich that it's just fighting itself. So I'm going to disconnect the battery and swap out those injectors. All right, guys, I think for now we're back in business. Let's see. AFR right now 14.7, which makes sense. So I reset the ECU, so it should be running very good right now. Fuel pressure looks to be all right. Looks to be where it should be, like 38. So let's go drive it. My guess is it's gonna drive pretty good right now for a little bit. We're gonna do some pulls and it'll boost cut. Now, I will say that the last time I drove this 30 minutes to work doing some pulls periodically, and it drove fine all 30 minutes. Got back in the car to leave work, did a bunch of pulls, and after about 10 minutes, 10 minutes max, it did the fuel cut thing. So it may last a little bit. Guess it kind of depends on how many pulls you do or how quickly. So let's find out. So we're sitting at 14.7 AFR. Before, we were sitting at probably 10, and it might take the car a second to relearn itself because I unplugged the battery to reset the ECU. Probably heard it. It does still seem to be cutting out a little bit there, so I'm thinking at this point could be not a problem related to the injectors, I am guessing. All right, looks like we've got the fuel cut too. Cutting out anymore, so I'm thinking maybe the spark plugs were just soaked in fuel and now they're not, but we do have the fuel cut. Still pulls good. Yeah, it's running good. I mean, pulling good, not running good at all, but. Okay guys, so conclusion. I think that I've just about ran out of options on this thing. It sucks that split second VC3 voltage clamp is no longer a thing, because by the sounds of it, that is the last thing we needed. So wide injectors too rich, makes the car run bad, I'm guessing because the spark plugs are soaked in fuel. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an expert, I'm just learning this as I go, but that's what I'm thinking. So then we throw in the Y7 injectors, and once we cleared up the soaked spark plugs, the car ran fantastic. However, it did the fuel cut thing and then ran horrendous. Still does good pulls, but sucks at taking off and sucks at just cruising. So I don't really know where I'd go from here. Well, so here's what you could do. You could go back to the Y8 injectors and get a Y8 ECU for $100 bucks maybe. And then you'd probably be set, because that ECU would know how to handle those Y8 injectors. So to me, it seems like that's the only option. Or you could just tune it, you know, because once you've gone this far, tuning, I mean, you know, what's another, heck, I guess tuning could be $500 to $700. So that is kind of quite a bit if you don't have the money for it. So here's what I would do. Y8 injectors, Y8 ECU, call it a day. I bet it would run good. Maybe as an experiment, I'll see if I can source a Y8 ECU for cheap. But I don't want to go buy an ECU when I'm going to turn around and start tuning this thing. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll get online, see if I can find one, but I'm not going to stress over it. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Next series, I don't know when we're going to start it, but I've got a guy that's going to work with me on tuning. I will shout him out when we get more into that. But I don't know if I'm going to tune this current setup. That would probably make most sense for you guys to tune with the current setup, and then after that go ahead and build the motor and try to go for like 400 horsepower. Right now I'm probably around 150, something like that. It's definitely noticeably faster than stock, so that's good. But yeah, if there's anything you guys want to see on this tuneless setup, and no, I'm not just gonna go turn the boost up and see what it can handle before it blows up, because I don't have endless money. So comment below, let me know what you want to see. Let me know if I'm stupid and wrong on anything I said in this video, because like I said, I'm learning it as I go, and I'm just trying to show you guys my experience. So yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys. I will catch you in the next one.